Welcome back to Jerk Block Talk. I'm Jason Fernandez. We are at CrossFit Rife today. Today we're going to talk about sprint workouts and what is an appropriate warm-up on days such as today. Side note, it's hot out here, guys. Today it's like 98, 99 degrees outside. You should be doing a little bit of a brief with your athletes, maybe send out an email early in the day about making sure they're hydrated before they show up. They're going to be in the sun for an hour, so we're going to be sweating, especially in places where there's high humidity. That could be a problem for some folks. So do your due diligence, try to make sure you're preempting that, but making sure people are drinking throughout the day, but not overhydrating. Now let's talk about warm-ups for days like today. So for the workout today, it's 5 rounds. It's going to be a 100-meter sprint. These are all-out sprints, followed by a little bit of rest, and then we're going to go right into a 50-meter prowler push, and then a 2-minute rest for 5 rounds. If you haven't done any work with 100-meter sprints, prowler pushes, stuff like that, really brutal as far as intensity goes. This is about as high as the intensity meter goes in workouts like this. That being said, we want to make sure the warm-up is appropriate. General rule of thumb when we're doing high intensity, short duration sprints, the length of the warm-up should be inversely proportionate to the amount of time that it takes to do the sprint. That being said, if I'm going to do a 100-meter sprint, on the long end, probably 20 to 25 seconds for some of the slower athletes, that means the warm-up needs to be really long. So in Cassidy's class, what was going on, they didn't even start getting into this until about the 32, 33 minute mark, and what we were doing was a couple things during that warm-up. First, doing that general warm-up. We just want to get the blood flowing, make sure people are sweating a little bit. Then we're going to start targeting all those things that we're going to be targeting during the workout. So we're going to go through some line drills, Frankenstein's what we call, working at the ankles, hamstrings, hips to make sure we're ready to go at full bore once the workout starts. What you need to be thinking about when you're doing these warm-ups is you want there to be a slow build-up to the point where we're hitting 85, 90, 95% at least 2, 3, maybe 4 times prior to saying 3, 2, 1, go. You do not want to go from 60 to 75% to 100 when you start the workout. If you're doing that, the warm-up was not appropriate. You're going to be at a much higher risk for injury, pulled hamstrings, pulled calves, things of that nature. So in that build-up, you really want to get as close to 100% sprint prior to starting the workout. Then you can get into that workout. So again, days like today, when they're getting the longest duration some of these athletes are going to work at any given point before a rest is about 20 seconds. But the warm-up was 33 minutes long. When you do that, you're really covering your bases and hedging your bet on making sure that athletes are really ready to go, making sure that you've primed the system and they're all getting that system ready to go 100%. Again, if you're not programming sprint days, you're losing out on a lot of fitness, guys. You should be covering that stuff. If you haven't done it yourself, it is brutal. It's one of the fastest ways to just crush people. Even your fittest athletes will get smashed by the prowler. So short sprints, long warm-up. Okay, and the inverse is appropriate as well. If I'm going for a 30-40 minute run, I don't need this long warm-up. I need maybe 5 to 10 minutes of warm-up because the intensity for a run of that duration is not going to be very high. I'm going to get most of that warm-up when I start the run. So they should be inversely proportionate. If you guys have questions or if you have comments or things that you do on sprint days, go ahead and throw that stuff in the comments. Share it with the group. If you have questions about how we do it more specifically, put those questions in there. There's a couple really good articles in the journal if you haven't read them. I think, can't remember who wrote one of them. I have to go back and look at it. I'll post it in the comments. General warm-up that we use for sprint days, we love the Henshaw warm-up. If you're not aware of it, they did a video of it in the journal. You can go to Henshaw's website, Metron. Tons of good stuff there on like how to program, how to warm up, how to program intervals and stuff like that. Really good stuff. We've been using it for a long time. Highly effective. But again, short duration sprints, really long warm up. long duration runs, fairly short warm up. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have any questions or anything like that. Throw it in there. We'll see you next time. Thanks.